Monday night in Cleveland. Week 15 of the NFL season continues in a huge game, essentially a playoff game for these two teams. When you consider the standings, you consider what's left on the schedules. It's the Raiders and the Browns. We welcome inside Joe Davis with the Hall of Fame quarterback Kurt Warner. So for the Browns, Kurt, their head coach is out. Their top two quarterbacks are out. All told, 18 players on COVID reserve. And you hear coaches and players all the time talk about next man up, next man up. It's cliche, but this is the ultimate next man up game in a week where they've got to have it.
Well, and a lot of talk about the Cleveland Browns, but we could look at the Las Vegas Raiders and say nobody's dealt with more adversity than they have this year, including a coaching change in the middle of the season. But what you love for both these teams is they're right where they want to be, right in the middle of the playoff hunt, coming into the weekend just one game back for both of these teams. And as we talked to coaches and players this week, there were no excuses. They understand that this game is not about what's happening off the field, but about who's playing on it.
Even with everything going on with the Browns, you could make the argument that they are stylistically as well equipped as any team in the NFL to deal with this. They run the ball well. And if we're being honest, it's the defense that's stolen the show for much of the season, and the headliner of that group is playing tonight, Myles Garrett.
Well, there's not many teams in the league that their franchise quarterback is a defensive player, but the Cleveland Browns is one of them, and that guy right there, Myles Garrett. And coach is talking about him this week, says he's the Michael Jordan of this Cleveland Browns team. He wants to make that game-finishing play, and he's probably going to have to do that tonight against Derek Carr if they're going to get the win.
Seems like it's been an ever-evolving situation for the Browns this weekend. For the latest, here's Melissa Starr.
Joe, it has been an interesting week here in Cleveland. 8 starters out with COVID, plus their head coach, Kevin Stefanski, who told us he will be pacing in his basement while watching this one. So, how do the Browns plan to win? 2 words, Nick Chubb. Stefanski telling us this is a Nick Chubb game, and offensive coordinator Alex Van Pelt, who will be calling the plays in his absence, added, if he has to touch the ball 30-plus times, so be it. This is essentially a playoff game. Now let's go over to the Raiders sideline and Steve Weish.
Well, thanks so much, Melissa. And you talked about this being a Nick Chubb game for the Browns. The Raiders say this is a Josh Jacobs game for them. Derek Carr said they have to finally establish the run. That sets up the play-action pass. They have not done well either of those the past couple weeks because it's inconsistent offensive line. Interim head coach Rich Bisaccia said they've got to control the clock and get out to an early lead so they can get their pass rushers, Unique Ngakoue and Max Crosby, after Nick Mullins. Joe?
All right, Melissa and Steve, you mentioned Rich Bisaccia took over October 11th as the interim, and Mike Prefer, who stood in as the head coach for the playoff win in Pittsburgh last year. They say there is a blueprint for this, given that situation. But Kevin Stefanski not here because of COVID. This game was supposed to be played on Saturday. It was awful here on Saturday. Cold and rainy, just miserable conditions. It's still a little bit chilly, but a beautiful night as kickoff is moved back 48 hours. The Browns won the toss. They choose to receive. So Demetric Felton, the rookie out of UCLA, goes back. Daniel Carlson to kick it. Huge matchup between the Raiders and the Browns, and off we go from Cleveland. Felton from inside the 5. Gets popped at the 26, and that is where the Browns will begin things. And so Nick Mullins, who in a 48-hour span this week, he goes from the practice squad to a starter in the middle of a playoff push, and he makes his first outing for the Browns, first one period since last December.
Let's also remember, though, that he's been here since September 1st, so it's not like he just showed up, understands this offense, similar terminology to what they ran in San Francisco, so he feels very, very comfortable with what they're doing.
Well, there's 3 seasons in San Francisco, mostly as Jimmy Garoppolo's backup, but he did start 16 games. This Browns debut begins with a Nick Chubb run. Chubb for a few. So this offense down not just their top 2 quarterbacks in Baker Mayfield and Case Keenum. They're down 2 offensive linemen. They're down their top 2 pass catchers. Joel Bitonio moves over to left tackle. Here in his 109th NFL game, plays at tackle for the first time.
Lucky 5.
Hurry up to the ball, and the first throw for Mullins is for Rashard Higgins. He's got it. Stopped the yard short by Casey Hayward, 3rd and 1.
And I like the play call right there. Come out and get your quarterback hasn't been here very long, get thrown into this situation, come get him an easy completion. I even talk about that when I played for a long time in this business. I love to get that first completion, that short one, to settle down those nerves.
On 3rd and short, a bootleg. Mullins for Njoku, who's got a first down. They get David Njoku back this week after he missed last week on the COVID list. And he's got a first down against this Raiders defense, which has struggled for the most part. But the strength for them lines up with what potentially could be a weakness for the Browns today.
You just talked about the changes in the offensive line for the Cleveland Browns. And so you got to think that Max Crosby and Yannick Ngakoue, two guys that have high motors that love to get after the quarterback, licking their chops a little bit, that there's some changes up in front.
One change in the back. You notice Brandon Faison starting in corner. Nate Hobbs was placed on the COVID list a few hours before the game.
5. We're eight. Yeah, let's spot it 4. 24.
Opening drive for the Browns. That play clock winds down and out. That is on Cleveland. Should move into first place in the AFC North with a win. The Ravens losing that heartbreaker yesterday. With a loss, they would be in last place. So when you're looking at playoff odds for the Browns with a win, they're about 50-50. If they lose this game, their playoff chances go down. Peter spit out about 20%.
And what we've seen this year is anybody can lose on any given Sunday. So a lot to be determined in these last 4 weeks of the season.
Mullins looks to throw again. Donovan Peoples-Jones, a 6th-round pick last year, has climbed the ladder and is their leading receiver. He's got a gain of 7.
Looks like Nick's come out in a nice little comfort zone. When you got a young quarterback that you put in that hasn't been in this offense very long, what you want to do is find those plays early on. Say, hey, Nick, what do you feel comfortable? We've got a naked bootleg. We've got a quick 5-yard pass for his first completion. You get a one-on-one on the backside, stick it on your receiver backside. Nice job settling the nerves and coming out early for Nick Mullins.
On 2nd and 9, Higgins comes in motion. They just get the handoff there, and Jonathan Abram blows it up. There are not too many guys in the league that play with a greater sense of reckless abandon than Jonathan Abram.
Well, listed as a safety, but they love to have him down in those linebacker-type positions. You're going to see him roll down to the edge right here and just hit it as the receiver's coming across. He got to settle himself on the edge of the line of scrimmage. That should be his guy. Leaves a gap right there, and Jonathan Abram makes him pay.
First-round pick, 2019 out of Mississippi State. Drops him for a loss of 7. 3rd and 16 for Cleveland. Ernest Johnson replaces Nick Chubb at running back. He's got it on a draw, and it's going nowhere. Solomon Thomas shuts him down. After they get a little bit of ground on the drive, they go backwards a couple of plays, and the punt team comes out.
And no surprise you come out with a conservative call on a 3rd and long situation. You have to believe that both coaches say coming into this game, got some of the issues going on up front in the secondary. Hey, let's make this a defensive and field position battle. Looks like that what the Browns are doing right there.
Another week here, Kurt, without Jamie Gillen, their punter. Dustin Colquitt, 17-year veteran, was signed last week. Punter Renfro waits back on. Good punt, drives Renfro inside the 15. One of the bright spots for the Raiders this season has a solid return crossing the 40. So good field position to begin for the Raiders after a 29-yard return. Derek Carr in the offense. Go out there for the first time after this. Offense, a lot of that, though, was built early on. They're trying to get back to some of that early season success as they've struggled lately.
Well, Steve said earlier they want to make this a Josh Jacobs game, but there hasn't been many Josh Jacobs games this year. It's really been about Derek Carr. When he plays well, this team wins. Now he's got to feel out how he can play this game with that good pass rush for the Cleveland Browns.
They faked the Jacobs on the first play. Nobody open, so he checks it down. And Daniel Helm with his first career reception. It goes for a loss as Taki brings him down.
It's good coverage on the back end, coming out with that play action. Make him think we're going to run it downhill. Got a skinny post on the backside. Maybe had a window, decided to pass it up and get that easy completion. Great job by Taki to make the tackle.
The Browns defense that has been the biggest reason for this playoff push. Biggest reason they're at 7-6. Back back-to-back throws to open things. And Hunter Renfrow, coming off a 13-catch game, has his first one here, and it's enough for a first down. He is such a good route runner.
He is such a good route runner, and it's the little hesitation that you're going to see as he comes off of this. A little hesitation, hold those linebackers in place, and he's got such a great feel, always playing with his eyes as a receiver, seeing where those linebackers are, finding that open space, and such a great comfort level for Derek Carr with number 13.
As bad as things have been lately, Renfrow's been a standout. #1 in the NFL the last 3 weeks with 30 receptions. Jacobs has it for the first time behind a good surge from the offensive line, gets 9, although there might have been an illegal reason for that, as a flag flies in from the backside.
Holding. Offense, number 76. It's a 10-yard penalty. Good first down.
And so it is a hold on this struggling offensive line. They've had a pretty good sense of continuity, but this group has struggled. And at the skill spots, again, they'll be without Darren Waller. 3rd consecutive game for a tight end that changes this offense when he's in there. They're without him.
Well, you look at him and you say, of course he changes their offense. Such a big-time playmaker, but Derek Carr tells us it's not just what he does when we throw him the football. It's the coverages that they have to roll to him. You know, 2 guys to 1 guy, and it opens up the other receivers on this offense.
On 1st and 20, Jacobs again. Only gets a few. Malcolm Smith brings him down. The old Raider makes his first tackle for this Browns defense that, thanks to the 48 hours the game was moved back, got back a player at each level. They got Tack McKinley up front. They got Anthony Walker back at linebacker. He's their leading tackler. And then maybe most importantly, Kurt, John Johnson at a very depleted safeties position earlier today tested negative.
No doubt the Browns are feeling really good about those 48 hours. Wondering who they were going to line up at safety. John Johnson, a huge pickup in the offseason. He's played some really good football for him.
Carr steps up and throws on the move for Foster Moreau and sets up a 3rd down and manageable.
This is something that Derek Carr does really, really well. Some of those issues they've had up front, always aware of those guys coming off the edge. Myles Garrett coming high, sliding up in the pocket, staying on the move as he sees that gap. Eyes down the field to make the play.
3rd and 3. To snap it. Brown show pressure. Then back off. Carr steps into one and has Deshaun Jackson. They signed him in early November. He had a huge game against the Cowboys, but that is all he's done. They're hoping that this is a big night for him.
His go-to guy is Hunter Renfrow in these situations. The Browns decide to double him. So Derek's key find the one-on-one matchup. And Deshaun Jackson is going to have to come up big, as we already said. Big playmaker and Darren Waller not in here. Got a guy that's averaging over 20 yards a catch. Deshaun Jackson open up that playbook, going to have to make big-time plays in those critical situations.
He's done for a long time. The 14-year pro out of Cal. First down from the 30. To the ground, and Jacobs with nothing doing. Driven back. Joe Jackson was there along with Sione Takitaki. Well, it has been, like you talked about off of the top, a tumultuous season. John Gruden resigns as head coach after the much-publicized story leading up to it. Rich Bisaccia takes over. And, look, a lot of these things are football-related. A lot of them a much bigger deal than football. A life was lost. Henry Ruggs rear-ended the 23-year-old woman in Las Vegas, lost her life, arrested, suspended the next day. Yeah, it's affected what's gone on in the field, but like Rich Bisaccia put it this week when we talked to him, first and foremost, there's a human element to all these things. On 2nd down, there's Josh Jacobs. He's had more catches this season than any other in his career, and his first one today moves the chains.
Good read here by Derek Carr as the defense ends up condensing. You see all the guys from the Browns stay to the inside, chasing Hunter Renfrow. Just a quick little flat to the outside. Nice recognition by Derek Carr. Get the ball out of your hands quickly. Let your playmakers make plays.
Carr's completed his first 5. That one for 17. He's waiting his next opportunity.
56.
Veteran Carr moves the Raiders down the field on their first drive. He steps up. He throws over the middle for Peyton Barber, who crashes inside the 5, and it's 1st and goal.
Nice job climbing the pocket. You're just going to see just a quick little angle route here by Barber. Pressure comes from the outside, slide up in the pocket. Once again, eyes down the field, easy completion. Nice job going up high and finishing inside the 5.
It's the Raiders offense that, even as it struggled over the last couple of months, it still entices you. Look at the Dallas game where they scored 36. You look at this drive. On the move quickly, it's Carr. Running to his right, wants a block from Renfro. He got some semblance of it, and then diving his way to the 2, or it'll be 2nd and goal.
They're going to try to run a bit of a shovel pass here. Back to Foster Moreau. Good coverage right there by the interior defensive line. Nothing to do. Try to tell Josh Jacobs, hey, lead around the edge. Let's see if we can get in the end zone.
Smile from Derek. I mean, you're rolling out as quarterback. They're ready to shovel it off, and as it turns into, no, I need your help.
I need your help. And then I'm going to dive from the 5-yard line. I pulled that once. My kids still laugh about it to this day. Like, Dad, what were you thinking? Like jumping up in the air.
Marcus Mariota comes into the game here. He's been on for 8 snaps this season. He's carried it on 5 of them. Hands it off to Jacobs. Short gain, and it's 3rd down. Teeth of that defense led by Malik Jackson stands tall.
Talked a lot about the issues with the Cleveland Browns this week defensively, and so they haven't been able to practice a lot of different packages. Asking Joe Woods about what if Marcus Mariota comes into the game. They said the good thing is we played against
Helm for the hold.
We played against Lamar Jackson the last couple weeks, so we've got that package in. We can walk through that with our guys, but we know exactly what the plan is in that type of situation. You see the hold right here. Easy to do when you got Myles Garrett just trying to hold him up, not let him get the angle right there. Arms around the waist, hoping you don't get caught.
2nd hold of this opening drive, and the most heavily penalized team in the NFL. Instead of 3rd and goal from the 1, they move it out to the 12 for 2nd and goal. Carr out of the collapsing pocket finds Renfro. He sticks his nose down near the 5, and now it is 3rd and goal.
And good patience right there by Derek Carr, looking off to the right-hand side. Good coverage on the back end. Pocket starts to collapse, but he keeps his eyes down the field and makes something out of nothing to his main man, Hunter Renfro.
7 for 7 on this opening drive, but looking at a 3rd and goal here.
And efficiency. We've been known offensively this year about the big play, but so much is coming out with all the issues, 48 hours difference. Come out and do something good early. Derek Carr has been very efficient.
Trying to finish off this drive with a touchdown. And he tried to call a timeout, but a flag flies. It was almost as if his sudden movement caused the guys on the outside to move.
It looked like Tack McKinley saw some movement first, so he stood up and was pointing. That led to more movement.
Predators with penalty. First charge timeout. Las Vegas.
So none of it actually happened. Well, we've got a great loaded week of football for you, don't we? Week 15 continues on ABC and ESPN tonight, and then tomorrow you'll see either Washington or the Eagles. A couple of teams right in the thick of things in the NFC, or the Seahawks and Rams. That's a 7 Eastern on Fox. And then Week 16 kicks off 48 hours later. Thursday Night Football on NFL Network, followed by a special Christmas Day doubleheader.
I know my wife doesn't agree, but football just about every day of the week.
Pretty good.
I like that, especially around the holidays. Doesn't get much better than that. Sorry, honey.
Week 15 keeps on rolling into Tuesday this week, right on to Week 16. 11th play of this drive for the Raiders is a 3rd and goal from the Cleveland 6. Carr throwing back shoulder. Edwards goes up and makes the catch. Touchdown Raiders. They cap off a long drive and get in the end zone on their first one of the night.
We often like to think that it's all about scheme in the red zone. I'm a firm believer it's all about playmakers making plays. You get one-on-one situations, you got to go up and make that play. Great throw on the back shoulder by Derek Carr, and great hands to snatch it and get his feet down by Bryan Edwards.
3rd touchdown of the season for the 2nd-year man out of South Carolina. Wilson out there for the extra point. Got good field position thanks to the punt return. They converted a couple of third downs on the drive. 11 plays, and they're in the end zone. It's the Raiders on the board first. Got an NFL Christmas doubleheader with big playoff implications. First, these Browns take on the Packers, and then in primetime, the Colts and the Cardinals. An NFL Christmas doubleheader kicks off at 3:30 Eastern on NFL Network, Fox, and Prime Video. Back in Cleveland, where the Raiders draw first blood, trying to get things going, having dropped 5 of their last 6 after the 5-2 start. This recent slide, no wiggle room left. The tough final few games after this one. No touchback. They'll start at the 25. We talked about there being somewhat of a blueprint in place for the Browns, at least in terms of the coaching operation, because in the wild card game last year against the Steelers, Kevin Stefanski was out with COVID, and they won that game. Kareem Hunt had a couple of touchdowns. Nick Chubb iced the game with a 40-yard touchdown reception. 48-37 as the Browns won their first playoff game since the '94 season. And that day, Mike Prefer was the head coach. Alex Van Pelt called the plays. Same setup as today with Kevin Stefanski say, going back to the basement. Basement is undefeated. So that's where he's taking this one in. Drive begins at the 25-yard line with a Nick Chubb run off the left side behind Wyatt Teller. And Chubb with a gain of 8 as we check in with Melissa.
Yeah, well, Kevin Stefanski told his coaches, just be bold. Don't think about me looking over your shoulder. He said we have the blueprint for this, having won a playoff game last year against Pittsburgh. In theory, this should just run itself. And offensive coordinator Alex Van Pelt, who's calling the plays tonight in his absence, told me that hearing that helped him a ton, that it's about fearlessness. And he said to him that means if we believe in it, we can go for it. That Stefanski won't be disappointed if he calls aggressively.
On 2nd and 2, here's the play call that goes in. Njoku's open for a first down to the 39. Mike Prefer is a former Navy quarterback and receiver and then helicopter pilot. He says with that background is a chain of command guy. So he's going to follow the script and he's going to follow what he thinks the boss would want, but at the same time, he has that encouragement to be himself and trust his gut.
Yeah, going to have to figure out that balance of when I'm an extension of Coach Stefanski and when in that moment I've got to make that decision. That could be a game-changing decision for this team.
On first down, they roll and toss it for Chubb. Tries to get around Abram, who won't let him. Jonathan Abram with his second tackle on a gain of 3.
And we're going to talk a lot about the blueprint, and it sounds really good, but let's remember back in that game, they still had their signal caller in Baker Mayfield in that game. This particular situation, you've got a guy that hasn't taken a snap for your football team. So be bold. Sounds really, really good, but you've got to make sure that you understand the pieces that you're playing with.
Yeah, you're so right. The blueprint is for replacing the head coach and the trickle-down that comes from that. There is no blueprint out there for replacing 18 guys.
Hey, watch him coming. We got him pushing.
Out on COVID reserve today. Officially 2 on that first down play. Mullins looks to throw again on 2nd and 8. His first shot. Peoples-Jones behind the defense. Couldn't pull it in. A drop from Donovan Peoples-Jones, who had beaten Brandon Faison.
They love the play action, and they love to take shots off the play action. A couple naked bootlegs already tonight. Donovan Peoples-Jones, a little hesitation as if he's running a comeback. And then go get it. Just wasn't able to pull it in.
You said the other day, this is off the air, but in games like this, where without this many guys, your stars have to be stars. Your good players have to be your best players. Donovan Peoples-Jones is their leading receiver. A play he's got to make. 3rd down and 8. 7 in coverage for the Raiders. So Mullins with time, but a prompt tackle from Keyshawn Nixon all over Demetric Felton, and the punt team has to come out after this play that should have been made on 2nd down.
And the ball maybe just a touch short as he's got to slow down, but looking to make a move there. And Faison actually does a nice job. He probably makes that catch. Faison does a nice job putting that left hand in there and knocking that football away. But as you said, you got to make that play in a game like this.
2 drives, 2 punts for this Browns offense. Colquitt, 17th season. big return the first time. Watches this one bounce. Well done by Colquitt inside the 10. And they will spot it at the 4-yard line. 15 seasons in Kansas City. Split last season between Pittsburgh and Jacksonville. What a find for them to get down the stretch run. How about Derek Carr on that first drive, Kurt? 8 for 8 to 7 different receivers.
And I like it was short, intermediate passes. One thing that can always slow down a pass rush. Get the ball out of your hands quickly. Perfect drive to start the game for the Raiders.
Took a great punt from Colquitt, backed up in front of the dog pound here. And another quick one. Zay Jones, the beneficiary this time, as take a look at tonight's next-gen stats, powered by AWS. As his career has gone on, where he's made huge strides, is throwing the ball down the field. That was a staple early on this season. Not as much the last month and a half.
Well, let's also remember the last month and a half, Darren Waller hasn't been on the football field. And we talked a little bit about it earlier, how he changes coverages that you get with Darren Waller. Of course, he's a big playmaker in and of himself, but he opens up the field for those other guys, and that's something that they've been missing.
No Waller and no Henry Ruggs, and those difference in numbers there corresponds exactly with when Ruggs was released. Final seconds of the quarter. They will run it down and out and send this on to the second. Las Vegas on the road with a 7-0 lead. Back to Cleveland. Oh, one of the all-time great Browns, one of the great left tackles this century. Joe Thomas was a Pro Bowler 10 times. Gonna have a gold jacket at some point. That's going to be one of the things referenced on the plaque. 10,363 consecutive snaps at one point. And that man there, the new face of the franchise, gives a lot of credit to Thomas for his evolution in his first 4 years in the league. Second down and 5 to begin this second quarter. Carr perfect so far. Stays that way with Morrow, who couldn't pull it in. We had a drop that led to an interception last week. This drop ends the perfect start for Carr.
The quick play action we call a stick route. Stick inside a 5-yard hook route with the flat on the outside. Good ball by Derek Carr. Rose got to pull that one in. And going back to Garrett, it's fun to ask him this week who's helped him the most with his pass rush moves, and you would expect him to say another great pass rusher. But he said that guy you were just talking about in Joe Thomas, going against him every day in practice and talking about the little nuances of the position.
Third down and 5. Browns bring some pressure here. It's picked up, but nobody open. Carr in trouble. Gonna throw it up for Jones. Tried to fight back to the ball, and there's a flag. Gonna go on M.J. Stewart. One of the guys getting a chance previously buried in the depth chart. And gonna get called here.
Pass interference. Defense, number 35. Ball pushing, spot on foul, automatic, first down.
46-yard penalty will move it out into Browns territory.
How many times have we seen that this year? It's the underthrown deep ball where the defender is back behind and the offensive player tries to adjust and come back. But there, sure looked like both of them were just hand fighting, trying to get back to the football. But as we know in this league where we're at right now, it's usually going to go against the defense.
And again, it is the secondary, the hardest hit group on this Browns defense by the COVID outbreak. Down 2 safeties, down 2 corners, down their nickelback Troy Hill. To the ground they go at Jacobs. And a flag flies. Already been 2 holding penalties on the Raiders, perhaps a third here.
Offense, 75. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
Let's check in with Steve Weish.
Well, hey, guys, you were talking to Derek Carr this week, and he was talking about his wide receiver, Hunter Renfrow, and how you're seeing defenses double him, put their best corner on him, and they really adjust their coverages to him, and he finds ways to get open. But on that underthrown pass there on third down that resulted in the DPI, he got jumped by 3 people, so he did attract some attention to open up the coverage.
That'll happen. He get 30 catches in a 3-week span. Worked out the best stretch of his career. After the penalty from the 45. Carr looks to go back to the air. He'll dump it off for Moreau. And the tight end to the 45 with a gain of 10. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, fantastic rookie out of Notre Dame, brought him down.
The Raiders have been really good with those deep passes this year and those big shots, as you showed a little bit earlier. Now, that one's not going to show up in the playbook, But you see a lot of quarterbacks do that now. They buy a little bit of time outside the pocket. They're just going to lay it up deep because they're feeling like, hey, if anything, we'll get a pass interference call. Maybe my guy makes a play, but we've seen so many quarterbacks bailed out on those types of short throws on the deep plays, and it flips field position for this Raiders team.
2nd and 10 in rhythm. It's Edwards who's got the touchdown today. Broke the first tackle, then the ball comes out. Renfro's able to track it down. Myles Garrett brings him down all the way back at the 42. 1 week after the Raiders coughed it up 4 times in Kansas City, Edwards with the first fumble tonight.
These are always the tough ones as a coach. You love to see your players fighting for extra yards, trying to break some tackles, but you see the ball kind of flipping from one hand to another in traffic. Always want to keep it high and tight. He's flipping the ball around. As you do that, somebody comes in, knocks it away.
There's MJ Stewart. He's called for the penalty earlier that jarred it out of there. Made it 3rd and 21. Carr given lots of time. That's another drop from Moreau, and it's 4th down with the coverage from Anthony Walker.
We talked about how efficient they were on their first drive. This was everything but efficient on this drive. Moreau dropping 2 passes, the fumble, losing yards, the holding penalty. I feel like in a game like this, you've got to avoid those mistakes if you're going to win. Obviously, the Raiders didn't on that drive.
A.J. Cole signed a 4-year extension last week. Peoples-Jones back to return after Demetric Felton muffed a couple last week. Peoples-Jones comes on and returns it across the 30-yard line. He got 20 there. Browns go back on offense, trying to get things going.
All right, back here in Cleveland, Raiders lead 7-0. Taking a look at that big drop by Donovan Peoples-Jones on that last drive from Nick Mullins, now sitting over on the sideline. And when I was talking to Nick this week, he was saying there's a number of plays we're going to have in this game plan that I've never run in practice. So you may see a lot of that on the sideline, him grabbing a receiver and going, okay, what are you thinking on this play? How are you going to run that particular route?
Well, the one thing the delay did for him was it gave him a chance to at least get 1 practice in with the starters. That was on Saturday. Prior to that, didn't get any reps in practice as the 3rd guy. It's Nick Chubb on 1st down into the arms of Max Crosby. Not much doing. It's a Monday night doubleheader in the NFL. Monday Night Football, Vikings try to keep up in the playoff race. They head to Chicago for a showdown with the Bears on Monday Night Football. 8 o'clock, ABC and ESPN.
But you're right, can't imagine going into an NFL game with 1 practice under your belt in a particular offense. Again, been here since September, understands the terminology, but man, just to get the feel with the guys around you, that's got to be extremely hard.
More penalty yards than yards of offense so far for Cleveland. Handed off to Chubb, looking for a seam. Not going to get one. Nick Chubb, 5 carries, has found tough sledding, a total of 8 yards for him. For a guy that is averaging close to 100 yards per game, top 5 in the NFL.
Really the bell cow for this football team. Doesn't catch a lot out of the backfield, but so tough to bring down in between the tackles. And they will just continue to feed him, but they've got to stay out of these 3rd and longer situations.
3rd down 6 here. You see a lot of this with Baker Mayfield. Empty set. And that was going to be a big part of the plan if Mayfield was ready. They go with it here on 3rd down for Mullins, who throws over the middle for Dearness Johnson. Stopped by Jonathan Abram, 2 yards short.
We've seen this a number of times. These quick throws underneath where you don't throw it past the sticks. Nice job by Abram to attack that 1-step slant. Tough when you're completing these balls, getting the completion, but they're not past the sticks. You got to push the ball down the field a little bit. Again, I know we got a quarterback that hasn't played a lot of football, but you got to give your team a chance in those 3rd down situations.
Hear the crowd urging Mike Prefer to go for it there, but he sends the punt team out. 3rd one already for Dustin Colquitt. Pinned him down at the 4 on his last drive. Fair catch comes from Renfro. Diving catch inside the 15. So the Raiders back on offense against this Browns D. And Myles Garrett on the other side of this. Look at the standings. Then you look at the schedules. What's left for these teams? This is essentially a playoff game with no wiggle room left, given how difficult these remaining schedules are. There are no gimmies left for these two teams.
No doubt about it. You're still in the mix. A lot of things going to fluctuate these last 4 weeks, but you're right. You can't give one away because there is nothing easy in either one of their schedules.
Hey, 44.
Peyton Barber starts this drive a running back. No Josh Jacobs. And Barber's got it. Sticks the nose down, gets a few. NFL Network has a big one on Thursday Night Football. The Niners continuing their fight for a playoff spot, while the Titans have another AFC South crown in sight. Thursday Night Football, Thursday at 8, only on NFL Network, the NFL app. 49ers team a lot of people would rather not see.
Starting to get healthy now. Struggled early in the year, but he felt like they were a team that could compete for a championship. Now they're getting healthy, playing some really, really good football.
2nd and 7. Back-to-back runs to open the drive, and a big hole this time for Peyton Barber. Peyton Barber with a first down run, crossing the 35, and a gain of 19.
There you go. Haven't got much going with Josh Jacobs. Nice job sealing down from the left-hand side. Huge hole right there for Peyton Barber.
You're right. We talked. Raiders staff saying that's going to be Josh Jacobs. Staff saying it's a Nick Chubb. Chubb's got 5 rushes for 10 yards. Jacobs 2 rushes, no yards. It's been a heavy pass for Carr and the Raiders. Here, there's nobody open downfield. Joe Jackson, Tommy Togiai combined to get him. 2nd down.
Going back to a play that they ran earlier. Off the play action, trying to get the ball up over the middle. See Zay Jones coming into your picture on the backside. Maybe a little hole right there. Didn't like it, didn't want to force it. Will make a bad play worse.
Second down and 10, back to Barber. Runs hard, sets up 3rd and short.
Oftentimes you take the bell cow out. Defense looks over there and goes, okay, they're probably going to throw it in these situations. Last couple times, Peyton Barber handed him the football. Couple nice holes there generated by the offensive line.
And this run-pass split has pretty much been the story all season. Only the Jets throw it more than the Raiders. Number 2 passing offense in the NFL. Empty it out on 3rd and 3. Browns rush 4. It's picked up, giving Carr time. He wants Jackson. Deshaun Jackson can't get there. Good coverage from Greedy Williams, and it's 4th down.
Not a big fan when you get into 3rd and 3 situations, and sometimes the look is right. You're going to see press coverage. We're going to go for the inside fade, but such a low percentage throw. Everything's got to be perfect on that particular play. I like quarterbacks to say, hey, we got an underneath route. Let's get the 1st down and take our shot on earlier downs. See it right there, just a lot of contact, nothing clean. Missed opportunity right there.
The Raiders, who had more deep shots than any team in the NFL, looking to connect on their first one tonight. So they're ahead of Peoples-Jones. Deadens inside the 10. Impressive stuff from the punters so far in this game. A.J. Cole sends it to the 9. Back to Cleveland after this. Here's who's in the driver's seat, presented by Infinity. The lone scorer this game, Brian Edwards, on the first drive of the game for the Raiders. They lead 7-0, trying to even their record up at 7-7. With a depleted offense, so many key pieces that they have losses this year has gone on. They get a 7-0 lead as the Browns go back out there. Speaking of missing key pieces, they are, and they have struggled to get much going.
They have. At some point, you've got to take the training wheels off a little bit with Nick Mullins. I know he's only been here a short period of time, but be a little bit more aggressive with him and give him some opportunities to make some plays and loosen up this Raiders defense.
They'll throw it on 1st down here. Out of the tight pocket, scrambles to his right, throws on the move for Peoples-Jones, and it's broken up by Faison. Brandon Faison starting for Nate Hobbs tonight with a nice break on the ball there.
Nice job by Nick Mullins to buy some time, get out on the edge. We've seen this twice now. Peoples-Jones against Faison. Good ball right up there. Faison able to get that right hand in there and knock it away, as he did on that deep ball earlier.
Hey, we're going to 5.
Nick Chubb just 10 yards on 5 carries. He's got it here. Abram with his 6th tackle already. Got a little bit of help from Faison. And a 3rd down coming up for Cleveland.
It can't be a good look. Faison out there. See Nick Chubb bounce to the outside. Never want to have to take that on one-on-one, but nice job stepping up, at least forcing him back inside to his help.
It's the Raiders defense that gives up almost 30 points per game. Only the Jets have allowed more this season. Pitching a shutout through a quarter and a half. 3rd down and 6 for Mullins and the Browns. He's in trouble. He'll dump it off for Johnson. On the screen, Dearness Johnson pulled down by Solomon Thomas. He's a yard or 2 short. The punt team comes out again.
All about hustle. See Solomon Thomas right here as they set up the screen. Again, a conservative call. Are you going to hustle from the backside and chase that down? Otherwise, Johnson gets the 1st down. But that's what you want to see from your big fellas. Never give up attitude. That's really what this defensive front is all about. Gakwe to Crosby, and there was Solly Thomas.
Raiders have gotten close on a couple Dustin Colquitt punts. This time they set up the return. On drive, did he give Renfro a chance? He lost it, back on top of it at the 39. So Las Vegas will have it. Ball on the ground again. Raiders fans are saying, enough of this. They, though, and their head coach cheering with a 7-0 lead. Two teams right in the thick of it as we come down the stretch. For the Browns, a win wouldn't just move them into 1st place in the AFC North, but it'd make them one of 6 teams at 8-6 in the battle for those 3 wildcard spots. And the Raiders, not totally out of it yet, but no wiggle room left, having lost 5 of 6. They lead this game 7-0. They've got a 1st down at their own 39. Josh Jacobs lowers the shoulder and gets 6. A couple missed opportunities early on both sides.
Well, let's take a look at that last 3rd down. I said they missed an opportunity as they were running this inside fade. But I want you to see Hunter Renfrow working on the backside. You don't get a perfect look to that fade. Just work back underneath. Hunter Renfrow coming open. Little hesitation. Gets across. Get a little rub from the backside. Easy 1st down and probably a big play. That's what I was meaning by that missed opportunity on 3rd down.
Here's Marcus Mariota coming into the game around midfield. Often you see him down near the goal line. Mariota's got it. Straight ahead. 3rd and 1. Carr comes back in. For the 1 play from Mariota. Both are going to be in there here.
I know the benefit that it gives a team when you put in a running quarterback and run some of the wildcat, but I hated that when I was playing. Like, really? Got to take me off the field?
How about when they put you back on and you get to split out and do the whole thing?
Yeah, that was always the best.
Right.
Get out there with a corner that was going to come up and try to jam him.
It's Mariota to take the snap. It's Jacobs to get a 1st down as we bring in Steve.
Hey, guys, you know, we heard the Raiders talk about they need to get their run game going. You notice these last 2 drives, they're running in between the guard and the tackle. They have found something there. We'll see if they stick with it, though, because they tend to abandon it at the back end of the series there.
They use Mariota to get a little something going there. Jacobs gets the 1st down. Just 9 yards for Josh Jacobs. It's been that kind of year for him. Back 1,000-yard seasons to begin his career, below 500 coming into tonight this year. An empty set on 1st and 10. A deep drop from Carr. Lets it go and finds Renfro into a tight window, beating the zone with a 1st down to the 36.
Started with the protection up front. Derek Carr looking to the left-hand side, trying to get the big play to Deshaun Jackson. Didn't like it, working back to Hunter Renfrow, who does a great job. See the hesitation again, finding the hole in between the linebackers.
The word that Derek Carr used to describe him, creative.
It's so funny because you may look at him and say, well, he's not that big, he doesn't run that fast, but his feel for the game is second to none. And Derek also told me that he's kind of sneaky good once he catches the ball with his run after catch.
Got a chance to join Tim Brown as the only Raiders receivers
2nd charge timeout.
with 100 catches in
Las
the season.
Vegas. It's a 30-second timeout.
He's got 3 of them tonight. He's 11 shy of 100 for the year. And still a few games left.
talked in the open a little bit about the next man up mentality for this team, and there's a guy right there that has really epitomized that for this football team. Darren Waller is the go-to guy and has been the go-to guy for Derek Carr for a number of years, but he goes down, and now number 13 steps in, and as I said, not real flashy, not necessarily the guy that's going to beat you over the top, but works the middle of the field so well.
We were talking with Derek Carr earlier this week, and he said one of the things that he's proudest of this season is that, well, it may not look like that in terms of the scores, the way they've kept playing, and here they are. I mean, it's been a miserable season. So much has gone wrong. But they win tonight. They play a team next week that they've handled this season in the Broncos. And who knows over the last two? Who knows if they can pull off a miracle here down the stretch?
And as a leader, he's done a great job, as well as Coach Bisaccia, at really settling things down with all the chaos that's been going on around this football team. And that's been the hardest part. You got to have some glue that keeps things together when things start to fall apart outside of you, and Derek Carr's done a great job of that, doing whatever he's had to do to keep this team in the mix.
Got a first down at the Cleveland 36. They feed Jacobs. Nice cut in the hole, and Josh Jacobs spilled at the 30. For Jacobs, part of it is he's been banged up. Part of it, like we've mentioned a few times, the offensive line has had its issues, and then they've been behind. Jacobs hasn't carried it nearly as much as last season. You put it all together, kind of the perfect storm for the numbers to be where they are.
But still amazing when you think about what he did in his first 2 years, going over 1,000 yards. He hasn't had a 100-yard game yet this year.
Shocking.
It is shocking.
Even when you consider all those things we mentioned. He's got it again here. Jump cut in the hole. Sets up 3rd and short. It's a guy who, in the stadium last year, though, had the game of his career. Some of the worst weather you will ever see. In fact, Derek Carr said it was the worst weather he's ever played in, and so they just kept on handing it to Jacobs 31 times for 128 yards.
And really, coming into the year, I felt like that was going to be what this team was. They were going to be a run-first football team, but things have gone sideways, done a nice job in the pass game, but they really like to find that balance once again.
See quite a bit of Marcus Mariota in this game. 3rd and 2, he's back in. Jacobs stretching left side. He'll get a first down. Josh Jacobs hurdles inside the 25-yard line. Sione Takitaki with a tackle after 5 to convert.
Never want to give the edge. You see Sutton Smith, the fullback here, able to seal right around the edge and allow Josh Jacobs to use his speed to the outside.
Brings us to the 2-minute warning. Derek Carr and the Raiders with a 7-0 lead. Looking for more before the break. The Lexus Halftime Report with Chris Rose, Willie McGinnis, and James Jones is coming up next. We're in Cleveland, where the Raiders have a 7-0 lead, and there have been 12 plays run in opponent's territory in this game. All of them belong to the Raiders. Marched down the field, got in the end zone on their first drive. On the move again here. First down from the 22. To the ground they go with Peyton Barber. Barber with a good run, stays on his feet for a gain of 8.
Going to talk about this Cleveland defense coming in, knowing the 3rd-string quarterback is starting on the other side. Need them to step up in this situation and hold the Raiders to 3. You don't want to get down 2 scores going into the half.
It's a Raiders offense, Kurt, that we were talking about throwing the ball as much as anybody in the NFL. But on this drive, 8 plays, 7 runs. 2nd and 2, back to the air. Carr throws the slant for Bryan Edwards. He's got the game's only touchdown, and here he sets up 1st and goal.
It's really been about the balance as well. You see Bryan Edwards on the outside just running a slant, a little outside push, able to get the hips turned. Good job knocking the hands away to run that slant. Good timing by Derek Carr. But it's been the balance. 16 passes so far, 14 runs for this Raiders team.
We talked about it coming into the game here, Kurt, that you had concern with the struggling offensive line of the Raiders facing this monster in Myles Garrett, but they've done a pretty good job on him so far.
And the thing you notice in these highlights, too, is they're not really given much help. It's a lot of one-on-one type situations, keeping him off balance with the quick throws. Mariota in there, making him be a zone read guy where he can't come up the field. Just done a nice job tonight. As you said, watched the game last week against the Chiefs, and this offensive line struggled all game long, doing a great job here in this first half.
On a Madden 99 guy, elevated this week, first one in Browns history. Myles Garrett, first down and goal for the Raiders. 4 receivers to the left side for Carr. He zips one, incomplete. And right now, Browns fans are saying, okay, here's where we've been different lately, taking the ball away. Can they get one here? Incomplete, looking for Renfro in second down.
Hook, trying to make a move, feels the coverage outside, and you see the miscommunication right there. They've got a great feel for one another, but sometimes when you give a receiver that type of freedom, you're thinking one thing, he's thinking something else, especially down tight in the red zone, where you've got to get the ball out of your hands quickly, and miscommunication led to that incompletion.
Working against Jay Stewart, making his first start tonight. Second down and goal from the 6. Jacobs swings out. Carr scans the field. Keeps it alive. Carr on the move for Renfro, and it's incomplete. Stewart again in coverage.
Tough when you come down here and a team plays coverage. They're going to drop 7 guys back. Tough to find those holes. Small windows. Good protection right there. Good move by Hunter Renfro. That ball's a little bit outside. Maybe there's an opportunity. Good job by Stewart at the end. Come in there and get his hand in it.
The Browns were really good on third down defensively last week in the win against the Ravens. So far today, though, Derek Carr and the Raiders 4 for 6. On third down and goal, he looks left. He heaves it up there, but a whistle blows, and this play never happened.
Delay game. Offense. Number 4. 5-yard penalty. Full third down.
4th penalty of the half on Bisaccia's team.
Browns were showing an all-out blitz, what we call blitz 0. No safeties back, man-to-man across the board, and everybody else bringing pressure. Derek Carr trying to change it up, get the right play call there, and just took a little bit too much time.
And you don't necessarily hate it, right? You get a little more wiggle room here, a little more room to work. The 11 instead of the 6. I mean, glass half full.
Yeah, that's spoken like an announcer. Hey, let's go 10 yards instead of 5 yards. No, I'll take the 5 yards, but I understand your point. Does open up the windows a little bit down here.
Well protected. Coverage is good. He tries to gash it. Carr is planted shy of the 5. This time it's Javonte Moffitt, just his 4th game of the season. And it's 4th down.
And Derek's a good athlete at the quarterback position. I know when this opened up and he makes that move, he's thinking, man, green grass all the way to the end zone. But guys are pretty fast in this league, no matter how good athletes you are. There's other good athletes on the other side. Good tackle right there, good form tackle.
And a couple guys who are getting opportunities because of all the guys that are out for the Browns have made plays, and Stewart and Moffitt there. Now it's Daniel Carlson having a fantastic season at 28 of 31.
A good stop there by the Browns defense, but you still got to be feeling good if you're the Raiders here, knowing on the other side, quarterback that hasn't played much, a chance to go up 2 scores going into the half.
Chip shot from 24. And he's got it. Raiders with a 2-score lead. Less than a minute to go in this first half. Somewhere Tom Brady's saying, I feel your pain, Nick Mullins. The Bucs were shockingly shut out last night. Browns have not been shut out in the first half in 3 years.
Wow. Well, we knew coming in it was going to be a bit of a struggle anyways. Hoped to get off to a fast start, but not sure a lot of people are surprised with how it's looked here in the first half.
And it's important to keep in mind this is an already struggling offense that is without several key players tonight, including their top 2 quarterbacks. So Nick Mullins making his Browns debut. Little wind gust, knocked that one off the tee. Carlson will get it ready to go again.
It begs the question, what do the Browns do in a situation like this? We've talked about the limited snaps that Nick Mullins has got with this offense anyways. Did he ever do a 2-minute drill? You know, you get into this situation, you want to get points before the half, but do you take that chance right now?
Now, Mullins is the latest in the long history of Browns quarterbacks. He's the 32nd starting quarterback in the 23 years since the franchise relaunched in '99. Little known fact, they had a chance to get you before this all started in the expansion draft.
They did. I was with the Rams back in 1998, and they left me exposed to the draft, as you would have expected. Nobody knew who I was at that particular time. So, yes, had a chance to be one of those quarterbacks that you see on the board right there.
Had they made that move, we wouldn't be talking about 32 of them. Significantly fewer would have come through here.
I like to think that, but who knows?
Mullins back shoulder. Peoples-Jones has it broken up by Brandon Faison, who they've gone after time and again. And Faison in there because Hobbs is out, makes the play.
Well, he's answered the call 3 times against Donovan Peoples-Jones, and 3 times he's made the play. Fade over here, trying to throw the back shoulder. Get your eyes turned around. Get that left hand in there. Really well done numerous times in man-to-man coverage tonight.
3-4.
51 seconds, 1 timeout, 2nd and 10. Mullins will look to throw it out of the collapsing pocket, finds Dearness Johnson. So 3rd down. Kevin Stefanski said this week this is a Nick Chubb game. Part of that was that they thought they're going to be playing in a cold monsoon on Saturday. They've gotten better weather, but you figured if you're going to have a shot, it was going to look a lot different than this. Just 12 rushing yards for the Browns so far.
Not only weather, but coming in, the Raiders defense 28th in the league against the rush. So you've got to tell yourself, even with some of the issues up front, we got to feel good about being able to run between the tackles, and there's just been none of it tonight.
Tricky thing here, you're in danger of giving the ball back to the Raiders. 3rd down and 6. Mullins steps into it, has a 1st down. Demetric Felton, who's played both running back and receiver for him here in his rookie year, as the 1st down to the 38. And a timeout taken by Cleveland. Week 15 continues tonight on ABC and ESPN. And tomorrow, it continues even further. You'll either see the Washington football team and the Eagles, or the Seahawks and the Rams at 7 Eastern on Fox. Thursday night football, it's 49ers and Titans. And then on Christmas Day, a doubleheader. Browns at Packers, Colts at Cardinals. A couple fantastic games to enjoy with your family on Christmas.
That is what a good week looks like. Finish up with Christmas Day, hanging out with the family. Maybe go check out my movie.
Yeah,
It's a good week. It's a good week.
How are you carving out time for all this?
Well, it's a busy week, too. Busy time.
Good problem to have.
Good stuff. You're exactly right.
40 seconds, out of timeouts now. Trying to gather some momentum going into the break. Mullins delivers. Peoples-Jones, great effort, couldn't haul this one in.
That's what we call a 7-stop. In a push up, aim towards the corner, and then stop as he's coming out of it, trying to find a hole in the defense right here. Threw it only place that he could throw, but just a little too far inside, and it gets both hands on it, but that would have been a great catch. But just say, Nick Mullins has actually played really well here in the first half. 10 for 14, a couple drops early on.
2nd and 10, reads the defense, finds Higgins. Rashard Higgins across midfield. They'll have to hurry with no timeouts. 25 seconds, hustles him up to the line, and spikes it with 21.
And we wondered, would they come up and even go up tempo? They'd be able to run their 2-minute drill. Nice job right here. We got a flat and slant to the outside. Bringing the outside backer, puts it right off his ear. A play that he's run a million times, and so that's what you try to do in the 2-minute drill. The quarterback that hasn't got a lot of reps, you say, hey, what are those handful of plays that everybody's got in their playbook that Nick feels comfortable with? We pulled a few out here on this drive.
By the way, Chase McLaughlin, their kicker, has hit from 57. 4 for 4 from 50 yards and beyond this year. Mullins steps up over the middle. Peoples-Jones again facing in coverage. Here comes the flag. Well, you're kind of wondering where is that flag going to come from, and eventually it did. Finally, Faison gets whistled.
Pass interference. Defense number 25.
see it there at the end, right? Just reaching up, grabbing that right arm. Peoples-Jones can't really get it up there. Wasn't sure if they were going to call it there for a minute. He's had some great coverage on the night, but it's a good call there by the officials.
That play does put him into field goal range. 15 seconds from the 35. Mullins in his Browns debut looks right and delivers. He's got Higgins again, who's out of bounds inside the 30 with 11 seconds.
How big is this if they can turn this into points right here? Thinking to myself, when the Raiders kick that field goal, we always talk about doubling up in the NFL. Knowing you're getting the ball out of the second half, you want to try to get points at the end of the first half, double that up in the second half. If the Browns are able to finish this and get points, huge momentum shifts going into the half.
A little bit careful here. No timeouts. 11 seconds.
No, we're out, we're out.
Within McLaughlin's range already. Mullins floating sideline. Higgins tried to tiptoe it. Incomplete. Well, with 5 seconds now, the field goal team will come out.
Really about all you can do right here. You're afraid to throw it and have someone tackled inbounds. So you've got a corner route and a go route. Just take a shot down the sideline. No real chance to complete that, but Nick just being safe right there. I don't want to complete that. Even if I can get that corner route into Njoku, if he gets tackled inbounds, we get no points out of this.
It's McLaughlin from 47 trying to get the Browns on the board. Timeout. Made it, but it won't count.
Flag of the snap. Third and final timeout. Las Vegas. It's a 30-second timeout.
Real nice job. Hey, speaking of the movie, American Underdog. You got a movie about your life. Huh?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, pretty humbling. But we're excited about it. Excited to share our story with everybody. Reviews so far have been really great. And I think it's a movie for everybody, not just for football fans, although football fans will get their fix looking at that journey back in 1999. But it's
Christmas Day.
It comes out Christmas Day, yes. And really a story of a family of underdogs that will have a chance to impact, inspire, and hopefully encourage a lot of people.
Well, very cool. 5 seconds, and now McLaughlin will try it. It's been good long range this season, but lately he's struggled overall. It was 5 of his last 10. Final play of this first half, and he missed it. After making the one that was wiped away because of the timeout before the snap, he misses here and has missed 6 of his last 11 after hitting his first 10 of the season.
What a killer. Great drive there by the offense, Nick Mullins. And of course, the other side's feeling pretty good about that going into the half.
So missed chance to get to within a score for Mullins and the Browns. It's the end of the first half, 10-0. Stay tuned. It's the Lexus halftime report.
Want more stats? Just ask Siri. Who leads the league in rushing touchdowns?
Presented by Progressive as we welcome you back to Cleveland. Joe Davis and Kurt Warner, and it's the Raiders desperate for a win, leading 10-0 after a half.
Well, not really the game that I expected here either. Is that you've got the Raiders running 18 times, passing 18 times, running 15 times, and then you've got Cleveland passing 18 times and only running 7 times. Thought it would be a Nick Chubb type game, hand the football off. Haven't had much success running the football. Maybe have to open the playbook up in the second half, and then expecting something from the defensive side. Myles Garrett and company haven't really made any plays in this first half. They're going to need something big here in the second.
You know, one of the things they've done recently is they've gotten takeaways after they hardly had any over the first month or 2 of the season. That's been a hallmark lately. They're perhaps going to need 1 or 2 of those tonight to come from down 10-0. They'd move into first place in the North with a win. They'd make it 6 teams at 8-6 in the battle for those 3 wild card spots in the AFC. Las Vegas, no wiggle room left. 6-7, trying to stay alive in the playoff picture. Let's check in with Melissa.
Well, you guys guys hit the nail on the head. I should have just talked to you at halftime, because certainly not the Nick Chubb game that the coaches thought it would be. I talked to acting head coach Mike Prefer about that, asked him why. He said the Raiders defense doing a great job. He said we have to open things up. We have to catch the ball when we have the opportunity to catch the ball, and we have to make field goals when we have the opportunity to do that. He said the biggest challenge right now is just to get a drive going, to sustain a drive. And then defensively, he said, I think our defense is playing great. And like you guys just mentioned, he said the key is going to be getting a turnover.
10-0 game. It's the Raiders to start with it here in the second half. Their Carr started the game 9 for 9. Not quite as efficient as the half went on, but they got Jacobs going. They got Barber going. And it's Jacobs in there to begin half number 2 with the ball for Las Vegas. Strung out. He gets a few. And for the Raiders' point of view, here's Steve Wyche.
Well, guys, you just saw on that play the inside run. And Rich Bisaccia, the interim head coach, said he loves the way the inside run is working. They're going to stick with it. He would have loved to have gotten points, a touchdown, I'm sorry, instead of a field goal. But he said the fact that they are taking time off the clock, that is huge for them. So he likes the way the offense is playing. He also said Peyton Barber, he's really playing well, even though they're going to mix him and Josh Jacobs in throughout the rest of the second half.
Yeah, and Steve, is actually Peyton Barber that was their leading rusher in that first half, not Josh Jacobs. First throw of the half from Carr is a little bit out of the reach of Brian Edwards, and an early third down for the Raiders.
And a big part for both teams is winning the early downs. We've seen Cleveland, especially early in that first half, get caught in third and longer situations. They throw it underneath the sticks and not converting. Got to do a better job of winning first down, which is something that the Raiders have done well all night long.
You know, the Browns are sitting there saying, okay, where's this man? Where's Myles Garrett? Where are the defensive ends that have caused so much havoc recently? Of course, no Clowney tonight, but Tack McKinley's been good. He tees off here. It's picked up, giving Carr time, and an open Jackson drops the ball. Put it right on the money, but Jackson dropped it.
And not a big pressure team, this Cleveland team. And so you're talking about the front four. That time they brought pressure. Great pickup. And you have Deshaun Jackson just pushing down the field. Probably more of a read route there. That safety goes back to the deep middle. I'm just going to hook it up. And a great throw by Derek Carr. Takes his eye off it, trying to make a play after the catch. Big mistake there by DJ.
So punt on the first drive of the half. A.J. Cole just gets it off. Bounces out of bounds at the 31. Time for tonight's Next Gen Stats, powered by AWS. We're talking about Myles Garrett, who's been one of the best in the NFL this season.
That's been phenomenal. After the quarterback pressuring, and this is a team, as I just mentioned there, that doesn't like to pressure. They believe they can get pressure with those 4 guys. You see it right there, 32.8% pressure rate with Myles Garrett. But tonight, well done by this Raiders offensive line.
It's had multiple quarterback pressures 11 games in a row. Doesn't have one tonight. Browns' first play of the half from the 31 is a Nick Chubb run that is run down from behind by Jonathan Abram, who's been everywhere tonight.
Talk about Jonathan Abram. They love to bring him down in kind of a linebacker position. He just comes off the backside. That type of outside zone run, that guy is always unaccounted for. Just a matter of whether he can chase him down and make the tackle. Abram did it well right there.
Hey, Rico, high five.
Well, for Nick Chubb, this is now a 3rd consecutive game where he's struggled to gain much traction. He was against the #1 run defense in the NFL, the last 2 in the Ravens. The Raiders D that has struggled against the run, bottling them up tonight. Again, small hole, short gain, 3rd and long.
We go 3rd and long, as we were talking about, winning 1st and 2nd down, trying to run the football, get nothing in those situations. Now you put the onus once again on Nick Mullins to have to make a big throw. But let's just say with Nick Chubb that he can break one open at any point in time. He's not one of those running backs that's just 4 yards, 5 yards, and that's what adds up to those big running games that he has. He's got the opportunity to go to the house on any given snap.
Bo Jackson, Gil Sayers. Man, it's quite a list he's on there. Jim Brown for yards per carry through his first 4 seasons, under 2 per carry tonight. Got hit as he let it go. Peoples-Jones caught the fluttering pass, but Casey Hayward was right on him, and it's 4th down.
Get into those 3rd and long situations. Teams know you got to throw the football, come after you a little bit. Nick's done a nice job tonight in a couple situations with pressure in his face, but what do we see again? 3rd and long, they throw and complete the ball underneath the sticks, and they've got a punt again.
It's Keyshawn Nixon from his corner spot. And here is a very busy man, Dustin Colquitt. Not a very good one here. Angles it away from run throw and out of bounds. So the Raiders back on offense under a full moon here in Cleveland, leading 10-0. Click coming out on Christmas Day. All Madden going to air on Fox. Documentary on John Madden's wonderful career. Situation for these two teams. This is part of why, obviously, the standings at this point make tonight important. But when you look at what lies ahead for both these teams, quite a must-win technically tonight, but certainly getting close to that for both the Raiders and the Browns. It's 10-0 Las Vegas. Start this drive from the 25-yard line as Carr looks to throw. He's got Foster Moreau. He's had a bit of a tough night with a few drops. As the catch here, stopped by Anthony Walker. NFL Network has a big one on Thursday Night Football. The Niners have been really good lately. They're fighting for a playoff spot. Titans trying to bounce back from a tight loss. Thursday Night Football, Thursday at 8, only on NFL Network, NFL app.
Go back to that play call right there by the Raiders. This is what I'm talking about. You put yourself in 2nd and 4. It opens up the playbook. So many opportunities to move the chain, something that is not happening on the other side of the ball for the Cleveland Browns.
Jacobs. Close. Anthony Walker with another tackle. They're going to say that he's got enough for a first down.
Your Derek Carr coming up yelling, kill, kill, kill. That means for those at home is in the huddle, you're going to call 2 plays. Call a play, and then you say we're going to kill to the 2nd play as Derek goes up there and checks out the front. Probably there from a run to a run based on the defensive front of the Cleveland Browns.
Third-year veteran, started from day 1 since the Raiders drafted him in the 2nd round in 2014. Of course, his immediate future a little bit unclear. 1 year left on his contract. Massive extension that he signed a few years ago. Fusion here.
Please reset the play clock to 25 seconds. It's 3rd down and a half a yard.
All right, so they had initially said that it was a first down. I think that's what Rich Bisaccia is arguing. What Derek Carr was saying was we were taking our time, getting lined up for a 1st and 10 play when, in fact, it's 3rd and about a foot.
Been there, done that. You're a play caller over there, and you're thinking, hey, we got a first down, so dial up this play, and all of a sudden you realize it's 3rd and 1. Try to change it real quick.
Bring the fullback Sutton Smith in with Jacobs, the tailback. It is a sneak. I don't know if Carr ever got that. I think a fumbled snap. And let's see. Everybody's saying, I've got it. I've got it.
Snap. His knees go right down to the ground, so he ends up recovering it himself. But with those knees down, wherever that football's at, as he's going down, I'm not sure he's going to get the first down here.
Yeah, they're going to spot him short. 4th down, and they send the punt team out. Boy, a huge, huge swing right there.
Huge swing, and I know Coach Bisaccia's thinking to himself, oh, man, this is a great situation to go for it. We only need a few inches, but let's continue to play the field position game. We're up by 2 scores right now. They haven't done much offensively. You fight that urge to be aggressive in a game like this.
It's a fake, and they got it. They run the fake and get the first down. That is Dallin Levitt, the safety.
Or you stay aggressive and you just do it a different way. That's how you do it. Nice little snap to the up back right there. Wedge everything down. He get right off the edge. Didn't get much, but enough to move the chains.
So Dallin Levitt runs for the first down in the fake punt. And the drive continues for the Raiders. So much for that swing and momentum the Browns look like they've captured. Jacobs hit in the backfield and drop near the line of scrimmage. Javonte Moffitt after a game of one. Got a couple head coaches that are special teams guys at heart. Mike Prefer, special teams coordinator for the Browns, acting as head coach tonight with Kevin Stefanski out. Longtime special teams coordinator in Rich Bisaccia. His team pulling the trigger on the fake. Zay Jones comes in motion on 2nd and 9. Carr over the middle has Jacobs. And Josh Jacobs has a first down into Cleveland territory.
Nice read here by Derek Carr, trying to get the second level throw. Coverage carries it down the field. You see him working his eyes. Know where your check down is. Quarterbacks of all ages can't preach that enough. Always know where your check down is. Take your peek down the field. It's not there. Get a completion. Move the chains.
Barber replaces Jacobs. Play action. Carr looking downfield and going down. Owusu Koromoa finished him off. Browns are saying they've got the ball, and they do. Porter Gustin out of the bottom of the pile with it.
Well, there's that big play that we said they needed here in the second half. Owusu Koromoa coming off the edge there, knocking that football out. Huge play for the Browns defense.
That sack was down for a while. Great sign to see him standing up and walking off under his own power.
That pressure got his right leg caught underneath him. And then get hit up over the top. Got twisted there, grabbed his right shin as he was going down. But good sign that he was able to walk off under his own power.
That's the right leg, Kurt, that kept him out of the playoffs in 2016 when he broke it week 16. We'll see moving forward with him as the Browns get it in shot territory and run a screen to Njoku. David Njoku had a steam first down inside the 35.
It's a play that they love to run. Play for Austin Hooper. Just pretend you're in protection on the backside. Just slip out. Nice easy completion. Tight end screen right there. And off of that fumble recovery, and now a nice play on first down. Feel maybe a little momentum going to the Cleveland Browns side.
Well, we're talking about the takeaways. You know, the Browns over the first 10 games of the season had 8 of them. They've had 8 over the last 3, and hoping that their first one tonight can ignite a comeback. Derek Carr limping his way off of the field after that sack fumble. His team leads 10-0, but with the turnover, Browns have it at the 34 in Raiders territory. Myles Garrett is right in the middle of forcing that thing. They got 13 yards on the first play of the drive with Njoku. They give it to Chubb. Chubb gets 4, and we check in with Steve.
Hey guys, when it comes to Derek Carr, he is good to go. He injured his lower left leg, but he stepped up. He was bouncing on it like he was dropping back to pass. Gave a thumbs up. All clear, sitting on the bench with his hat on, and Marcus Mariota, his backups, not even bother taking his jacket off.
Sigh of relief all around. 2nd and 6. Browns looking for their first points since midway through the second quarter of their last game. Back-to-back carries for Chubb. This time he hits the seam. Nick Chubb is inside the 10. First and goal, Cleveland. Biggest play of the night, 24 yards.
There you go. It doesn't take long when you give him a little bit of a crease. The outside zone to that weak side. Good job sealing the edge. Good job blocking on the outside. And Nick Chubb does the rest, but you see that big body as well as that big speed.
24 for number 24. finally breaks loose. First and goal from the 6. Chubb again. Tripped up at the line of scrimmage. Short gain. And it's second and goal. He's the kind of guy with as big as he is, as bruising of a style as he has, the numbers tend to get better and better the deeper into the game he goes.
Start wearing down the defense, and so you got to stay with it even when you're not getting big yards. And kind of reminds me of an Adrian Peterson. Watch Adrian Peterson run. He got better as the game went along, but it would be 2 yards, 3 yards, minus 1 yard, and then the ability to break the big one, which is exactly what Nick Chubb has.
Leaves the game here. Dearness Johnson comes in. And on second down and goal, it's play action. Mullins floating back corner. Njoku over the top. Touchdown Browns. What a catch.
Talked about it on the other side. Is sometimes it's not about scheme, but it's about your playmakers making plays in the red zone, going up and over. It's that toe down. Ooh, that one's going to be really, really close. Great job going up and sneaking that ball away from the defender, pulling it away high, not bringing it down, but holding it up.
Boy, I don't know, Kurt.
I don't know either.
And they've actually changed the call. It's an incomplete pass, and it's third and goal.
It's one of those, if you don't put your heel down, just stay up on your toe and just kind of bounce out of it, it's probably a touchdown.
If you go toe to heel, you've got to complete that.
Yep.
And this heel comes down out of bounds. Nice job of the crew getting this right that quickly.
Man, it's too bad. That was a great play, great catch by the big tight end. They're so happy to have him back.
And so they'll give it another try. Third and goal inside the 5-yard line.
Let's see if somebody else got a bunch of guys out. Some of their key players on the outside out. Situational football down here in the red zone. Can somebody step up and make that play to get him 7?
By far their best opportunity of the night. They hand it off to Chubb over the left side. Nick Chubb is in. Touchdown Browns. They score anyway.
You don't see that very often, but what do you say? You get down the 5-yard line, give it to your best player, even if that means running the football. Great job by the offensive line to get out in front of him. Let the big fella do the rest. Huge turnover by the defense. Leads to some momentum and points for the offense.
First score for the Browns offense in 5 quarters. Back to midway through the second against the Ravens last week. Extra point coming from Chase McLaughlin. Right down the middle. Well, this has been the equation for a lot of the year, especially recently. The defense takes the ball away, and then they put it on the shoulders of Nick Chubb. On third and goal, he runs it in from 5 yards out. From the AFC to the NFC on this Monday night. Vikings try to keep up in the playoff race, heading to Chicago to take on the Bears. Monday Night Football at 8 on ABC and on ESPN. Here in Cleveland, we got a game as Nick Chubb has a touchdown. It's 10-7. Short kick. Richard comes up and takes on the move. And gets tackled from behind. He'll start at the 26-yard line as Nick Chubb finds the end zone to get the Browns on the board.
We talk a lot about situational football, and Nick Mullins getting thrown in there at the last minute. Only 1 day of practice. You wonder how many red zone opportunities he got. Did he even get to run a red zone 7-on-7 this week? And so maybe surprised a little bit to hand the football off. 3rd and 5 from the 5-yard line, but a big part of it may be, hey, we don't have a lot of plays that he's been able to practice. Let's give it to our best guy.
Derek Carr says, okay, I see it, let's go. He's good after leaving the game with an injury on their last drive. Empty set to begin this one. Moreau, the tight end. Foster Moreau makes the first man miss. Has a Las Vegas first down and a gain of 13 as we go down to Melissa.
Guys, no one was more excited on the Browns sideline after that score than Myles Garrett. I asked him before this game if he felt, just in this instance with all the COVID, if he had the defense had to carry this game, and he said, well, we still have to score some points. We have to play complementary football. But he challenged the team last week. He didn't feel like the focus and the intensity was there, and he challenged them this week, even despite the COVID. He said, it doesn't matter. If I feel like they need it, I'm going to do that. All he wants to do is get back to the playoffs.
One of his buddies up front is down here, Tack McKinley. Myles Garrett in his 5th season already, one of the key leaders, already the face of this franchise in a lot of ways. Short break, back in a moment.
This week, Thursday Night Football is only on NFL Network.
Close like football, baby.
The playoff chase is on, and we're here for it.
That is just a thing of beauty.
The Niners are fighting for their postseason lives.
Caught. That's a game changer right there.
But the Titans have another division title in their sights.
Touchdown. He can do it all.
Niners, Titans. Week 16 starts here.
We about to level up.
Thursday at 8, only on NFL Network. And don't miss a Christmas doubleheader this Saturday.
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive, CWX. You're not okay to drive. YGKLVW. Regular you.
And they've got the cart out there for Tack McKinley, who's really started to play well lately for the Browns and is already a diminished defense. Several key players out. That includes Jadeveon Clowney. So McKinley was playing an even bigger role tonight. Okay, in his first season with the Browns after 4 good years in Atlanta.
Never like to see that card come out. Just coming off the edge there. Looked like a whole lot going on, but obviously that left ankle got caught underneath him. Let's hope it's not serious, but as I said, never like to see that card come out.
So yet another player the Browns are going to be without for the remainder of the night. As Tack McKinley is carted off. 18 players out tonight, 8 starters included in COVID protocols. Their head coach Kevin Stefanski watching this game from his basement. And it's not just another game. This is a game the Browns gotta have. They'd move into a first-place tie. Virtue of the tiebreakers technically would be in first place. And they'd be one of 6 teams at 8-6 in the wild card hunt. It's Josh Jacobs knifing his way through the defense for 6. And here is that playoff picture that both these teams are involved in. You've got the Browns sitting there right at 7-6. The Raiders, as bad as things have been since the 5-2 start, with a win, they're right back into the picture. And both these teams very difficult final few games.
You mentioned an important game for Cleveland and how this can swing for them, but man, I almost feel like it's even more important for the Raiders. And coming in with all those issues from COVID, Browns felt like it had to be a game like this. Low-scoring game, making plays on defense and getting enough offensively.
2nd and 4. Getting a heavy dose of Josh Jacobs here. Cloudy picture this time. It's 3rd and 2.
Big play right here for that Cleveland defense. Opportunity to get the ball back to your offense. Not allow the Raiders to cross midfield. This is what the Raiders have been doing all night long, putting themselves in 3rd and short situations, so can do all kinds of things. The quick passing game obviously can still hand the football off from this down and distance.
Richard replaces Josh Jacobs on 3rd and 2. Carr stands in, lets it fly for Zay Jones. First down to the 35. Jones was wide open, working against one of the replacement players, Javonte Moffitt.
So we see him on the inside here, running a corner route. All about getting the hips of the DB turned. He turns back to the inside. Great separation. Doesn't get much more open than that on a 3rd and short. Nice throw by Derek Carr.
Zay Jones, guy that's come on lately, had just 9 catches over the first 10 games. That's his 15th over the last 4. So dealing without, again, Darren Waller. No Henry Ruggs. On the 35-yard line, fresh set of downs. Here comes Jacobs. Waited for something to develop. Accelerated through for 8. Down to Melissa.
Hey, Joe, we saw Tack McKinley carted off, obviously very visibly upset, in a lot of pain. Just got the official word. It's an ankle, and clearly he is out for the rest of the game.
All right, Melissa. Browns defense that, when it's been whole, has been the biggest reason for their success this year. The offense, while it's not been good tonight, really has not been good in quite some time. It's the defense that's led the charge towards the playoffs.
Struggling to just stop the run between the tackles. You need somebody to step up and get that big play on one of these runs.
Raiders leaning on Josh Jacobs. He's got a first down here. Raiders have been waiting and waiting for that big game from Josh Jacobs. Back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons to begin his career. Leaning on him a little bit here tonight. What has been a tough season overall, just now crossing 500 yards. Third-year man out of Alabama. Inside a minute in this third quarter. Jacobs again. This time a short gain.
That's exactly what you need, that quick penetration up the middle. Often think about those big plays defensively coming on a sack in the passing game, but they can be just as big in the run game. A quick win in the interior of the defensive line. Hold them back, keep them in a second and long situation.
Second and 9. They've got to snap it at least one more time here. Closing seconds of this third quarter. Carr wants the snap, needs the snap. And then signals for the timeout.
Las Vegas. This is a 30-second timeout.
Boy, what a bad spot to have to use their first timeout.
It's tough. They give Derek Carr a lot of freedom at the line of scrimmage to make changes and get into different plays. Certain times they'll go up there with a certain package and they'll have the opportunity to go to any play in that package. See, he's trying to get that snap to come. I'm not sure he got the timeout call. I think that came from the sideline. He might have been a touch late, but we do that as quarterbacks sometimes. Like, come on, why can't you hear me? Give me the football.
Yeah, that's right. James is saying it's the dog pound, man. It's hard to hear in here.
We make it look like it's the center's fault, but it's because we took way too much time. But on the big screen, it looks like it was all on the center.
So they do have to run one more play here. 3 seconds. 10-7 lead at second down and 9. Play clock again winding down inside 5. Carr to the air. Floating for Zay Jones. Climbs the ladder, but it's broken up. Grady Williams knocks it out of there and brings this third quarter to a close. On to the fourth in what is essentially a playoff game. The Raiders and the Browns on NFL Network. No gimmies left for either side. 7-6 Cleveland, 6-7 Las Vegas. On to the fourth quarter in a 3-point game. 3rd and 9 for Las Vegas. Carr scans, nobody open, keeps it alive. Still nobody open. Floats it out of bounds, and it's 4th down. Pressure coming from Sheldon Day, but the credit to the coverage on the back end there.
Exactly, that's what we call a coverage sack. This Browns defense, you can bend, you can bend, you can bend, but don't break. Give them 3 points, not 7. Nothing open on the back end. Good job by Derek Carr just to throw it away. But good coverage on the back end by the Browns.
Myles Garrett walks off gingerly there, and clearly in some pain as he reaches the sideline. Now Daniel Carlson comes out for a field goal from 39. He's got another. What a season Daniel Carlson has had. 2 for 2 tonight, 30 for 33 on the year. Browns right now concerned about their superstar defensive end in a 6-point game. Moments ago, Myles Garrett limping his way into the injury tent. The Browns down 6. Already down 18 players coming into the night. They lost Tack McKinley earlier, and now their superstar defensive end hurt himself.
Man, a lot of attrition here as we get down late in the season. Let's hope nothing serious right there. As you said, Tack McKinley already going off the field on a cart. So many issues here with this team, but all things considered, we're still within 1 score right now.
Just trying to survive this week.
Exactly. You're just trying to get out of here, hopefully sneak out a win. Defense doing their part, keeping the Raiders out of the end zone. Now the offense has to come back and do theirs.
Let's take a look at what might have happened here with Garrett on that 3rd down play.
So hard to tell when you're just working, pushing on a 320-pound man the entire time. You see him come up inside of that right leg.
So out of the injury tent now, wearing still a little bit of a wince. We'll revisit Garrett moving forward, but right now it's about the offense. And Nick Mullins, who a few days ago was the practice squad quarterback. In his Browns debut, trying to lead him from behind. Making a change at the line. Handing the ball off to Chubb. Short gain, 2nd down.
Different offenses do it different ways, Joe. We heard the kill earlier by the Raiders. There you heard Nick Mullins saying can. Same type of thing in the huddle. Call 2 plays. Can 1 play to another.
They only had 4 plays in Raiders territory during that first half, and then they got things going, got in the end zone on the last drive. 6 here. On 2nd and 9, Mullins looks to throw for the first time in the drive, and it's off the hands of Demetric Felton. You know, you said this week, when you get down to a 3rd quarterback, you're hoping that he just doesn't lose you the game. He's far exceeded that. He's 14 out of 21, and several of those incompletions have been drops.
Just like that. Felton there's got to keep running, starts to turn his shoulders back to the quarterback, slows down as the ball's coming out in front of him. He just runs through that. That's a possible 1st down around the edge, but you're right. Nick Mullins has done his job tonight.
On 3rd and long, a deep drop and a deep throw. Njoku into double coverage and incomplete. Faison and Levitt were down there, and it's 4th down.
Haven't seen him push the ball down the field a whole lot on 3rd down. See right here, little 7 pump, little lean to the outside and squeeze back to the inside. Only problem is when you have a middle safety back there, there's nowhere to bend him. Got to keep him away from the safety as he comes over and breaks it up. Just trying to give your big playmaker another shot with the ball high in the air. Good defense there by the Raiders.
Quick to punt it. We've seen the Raiders happen to just be joining us come after a couple of these tonight. Almost get there. They're coming again here. Good job blocking. Renfro drops it again, the 2nd time tonight. Hunter Renfro has muffed the punt. He's back on top of it, though. The Raiders back on offense. Up 13-7 early on in the 4th. Tonight's electrifying play presented by Hyundai. Nick Chubb's touchdown run that has the Browns within 6. 13-7 early on 4th quarter. Figured coming into the game that Nick Chubb would carry a big part of the load. He's done more in the 2nd half, but overall it's not been nearly as productive as they had wished.
Well, you say the electric play there. There hasn't been any big plays in this game. The biggest play is a 19-yard run by Peyton Barber for the Raiders, but it's just slow and methodical, and you wonder which team is going to break it open with a big play.
Well, it's been interesting for this pass-happy Raiders offense normally is how balanced they've been tonight. It's a pass play to begin this drive, and a deep ball for Zay Jones. Out of his reach, incomplete. One-on-one working against Greedy Williams. 2nd and 10.
Zay Jones saying, I want to be that guy. That's what we call a pylon route. Deep, high corner route. Where he comes out of it, he's going to run at that back pylon. Get a little hesitation by the corner and go take a shot Derek just leaves it a little bit too far to the inside.
Raiders lead the NFL in explosive pass plays, 20 yards plus, 60 of them this year, 0 tonight against a depleted Browns secondary. Myles Garrett, by the way, in the game for the Browns. Crushed in the backfield. Malik Jackson dropping Peyton Barber.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. You can see right here, Dave, right here gets the penetration up the middle, forces him to go lateral. And there you have the cleanup from Jackson.
Sight for sore eyes for Browns fans seeing Myles Garrett back in the game, although on skates there. 3rd and 13. Browns drop 7 into coverage, so time for Carr. Waits for something to come open. It's Zay Jones reaching but short. A little bit short. On 4th down and 1 earlier, they faked the punt and got it.
Once again, great protection up front. Derek Carr has all kinds of time to allow Zay Jones to work back to the inside off the linebacker, and then good effort to reach for it, but a little bit short. And again, you want to be aggressive, but you just feel like, hey, their offense hasn't done a whole lot. Let's continue to put the ball in our defense's hands. Unless they have another fake in their playbook, could they go for it again? But I don't think so in this situation.
I mean, we got a couple crafty special teams guys here.
I know. You want to make your mark as a special teams guy.
Well, play clock runs out. More free yards given to the Browns. An NFL Christmas doubleheader. What a great doubleheader it is. These Browns go to Green Bay to take on the Packers. And then we'll be in Arizona. Colts and Cardinals.
Never bad to have a home game on Christmas, but what a great game. Colts with a big win over Patriots this past week.
Again, Cole just barely gets it off. Fair catch from Peoples-Jones. And the Browns will have it at the 20 as we check in with Melissa.
You saw he went back in the game. Well, he came limping out after he was injured, spent about 2 to 3 minutes in that blue medical tent, came out with a huge smile on his face, and then went back in. No official word from the team since he did go back in, but he just limped off and kind of threw his head back on the bench like he's in agony.
And knowing his personality, hearing what kind of leader he is, how much pride he takes in being the guy for this team, you know, if there's any chance at all that he can be on the field in a game of this magnitude, he will be. So, back into the spotlight comes Nick Mullins. Hands it off to Nick Chubb. Hit at the line of scrimmage. That was Max Crosby, one of the top defensive ends in the conference. And to just 1. Talk about all the shots that Derek Carr likes to take. Only 7 throws 10 yards or longer today from Nick Mullins, and he's yet to hit one.
Well, he's made a couple throws that could have been caught in those situations, specifically that double move to Peoples-Jones in the first half. But you're right, they've been very conservative, as you expected them to be, coming in with a guy that's really only had 1 day of practice.
2nd and 9, Chubb again has a hole. Boy, if he could have squeezed through there, he could have hit that sideline and run forever. KJ Wright got him, and it's 3rd and short. See that thing developing? Oh, boy.
You did. You saw the hole, and you knew if he just got through there clean, this could be a huge play to the house. Good job by Lee to get a piece of him and just slow him down to let the other white jerseys get there. But you're right. From this angle, I saw it opening up. I thought maybe this is a house call.
You said it. As pedestrian as the night has been, how many times have you seen him bang, hit it, and change the game? Empties out here on 3rd and 3. Put it in Mullins' hands. Over the middle, Harrison Bryant. First catch of the game is a big one for the tight end that they get back this week after the ankle injury kept him out last week.
And this is where Nick Mullins has been good all night long. This underneath, intermediate passing game. Ball's coming out on time, making good decisions. It's just, can they methodically work the ball down the field and get 7 points? They haven't been able to sustain that. That's why you almost feel like they've got to get a big play in here somewhere.
Chubb again. Runs low, crosses the 35 with a gain of 4. Tripped up by Quentin Jefferson. Nick Chubb in the fourth quarter, 6.5 yards per carry in his career. That's #1 in the NFL.
I always want to be able to have a guy like that, especially when you're ahead in games, that you can really chunk out yardage late. But winning first down, as I've been talking about, that opens up the opportunity to take a shot at some point where you feel like you'll be in a third and manageable situation. We can waste it down and try to get that big play.
Give it to him again. Carves his way through there. 3rd and 3. So he gets 4 on first down, and he'll take that compared to what they've had for a lot of the night. Then he gets 3. Here's that manageable 3rd down you're talking about.
And we've seen a number of times tonight on 3rd down. They're 4 of 10 on 3rd down. We've seen him complete a number of passes on 3rd down. They're always just short of the sticks. You get into this 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4 situation, you could pick that up with about any throw, even if you're throwing a quick throw to your back in the flat.
Under 9 minutes. Mullins from the shotgun on 3rd and 3. Scans the field, floats one for Peoples-Jones. Donovan Peoples-Jones, biggest grab of the game, 25 yards into Raiders territory.
Great throw up and over by Nick Mullins. Deep over route. Everybody's got it in their playbook. Separation. Got to get it up over the linebackers. Nice job by Peoples-Jones. Reaching up, full extension, and making the big catch.
Got rid of that thing just in time. Max Crosby's coming.
He was holding it. He was holding it. Good job hanging in the pocket and making that throw.
Peoples-Jones, who had a couple key drops in the first half. Big play there. First down at the 36 of Las Vegas. 2 to snap it. Just get it off. Chubb has a hole. Nick Chubb with a first down inside the 25.
Go. They starting to wear down the Raiders front. Winning those first down situations, getting Chubb going north and south, that one cut. The brown jerseys on every one of those white jerseys, covering them up, and that's all you need. Make an arm tackle on that guy is not an easy thing to do.
It's an injured player for the Raiders. Jonathan Abram, who's been fantastic tonight, one of the top players on their defense. He limps his way off. You know, there's been a blueprint the last few weeks in the NFL. You don't have to have a quarterback come out and throw for 300 yards to win. You look at what happened on Saturday night on NFL Network. Carson Wentz goes 5 of 12. Jonathan Taylor carries him to a win. You look at what the Patriots did the week before. Hardly threw 3 throws against Buffalo, won the game.
Yeah, but that's no fun.
It's not fun at all, but it's a way to win if you need to.
Got to be able to win different ways, especially in the playoffs, especially in the weather. So no question about it. You don't have to throw for 300 yards, even though it's become easier in this NFL. A strong run game, win in the trenches is always a formula for success.
Tough sledding that time. Cleveland Furl brings Chubb down. The clock winds down near 7 minutes. Nick Mullins in his Cleveland debut tries to lead him to a huge win into the playoff race.
And you really couldn't ask for a whole lot more. Cleveland, all the issues, everything that's been going on. You've got this situation, 7 minutes to go. Bordering the red zone here. You need one score to take the lead. Kind of the formula that you wanted and you expected the Browns to want coming in.
Bootleg. Mullins turning the shoulders. Throwing incomplete. Coverage from Hayward on Higgins. Pressure from Furl. 3rd and 8. Back in one of those 3rd and longer situations.
And a big 3rd down right here. A lot of time on the clock, obviously. So normal situations, you're saying, okay, even if we don't get this, we're kicking the field goal. But the offense really hasn't got a lot going. Do you think you go for it in a 4th down situation if you come up with a 4th and short? Kick and get the points, believing that your defense can get you the football back and you could put one more drive together to tie the game or get the win.
Chase McLaughlin missed a field goal to finish the first half. Mullins over the middle. Peoples-Jones, second big 3rd down catch of the drive.
Nick Mullins is saying, you don't have to think about either one of those things because I'm going to make the throw that we need. And he really has done a nice job tonight. Patience in the pocket, little in route, Nice route, creating some separation. Really good ball by Nick Mullins between the numbers.
They've converted 3 third downs on this drive. First down at the Las Vegas 11. Here comes Chubb. Seam off the right side. Flag down as Chubb gets in. A flag in the backfield, and it's likely coming back. Quentin Jefferson of the Raiders saying, I was held.
Holding. Offense. Number 77. The 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
The right guard, Wyatt Teller.
He got it on 77. Maybe could have called it on 68 as well. Once that guy gets outside, you're going to see here and here. Watch both of these guys as we come off of this. Oh. The guy pulled down right there. As the running back gets to the outside, arms get extended. Easy one for the stripes to call as well.
Only the third penalty of the night for the Browns, but it's a key one. Here they get it to Felton. Covered well. Keyshawn Nixon there with KJ Wright. So get a few of them back. But the clock's starting to get to the point where it's maybe 4-down territory.
Right, and now you feel as a quarterback, second and long in this situation, you feel like you almost have to go, not necessarily for the end zone, but for the bigger play in these situations. You don't want to leave yourself third and long inside the 15. So let's see if Nick Mullins tries to push it down the field a little bit.
Second down, 17. They hand it off to Nick Chubb. Chubb inside the 15. Certainly not a play call that's looking like they're considering 4-down territory. It's third and about 11 coming here.
Well, and that could really work out either way. You could hand it off here on second down to say, hey, because we believe we're going to have 2 more downs to throw it.
Okay, right.
Maybe catch him off guard a little bit. But yes, definitely surprised me. You'd think you'd try to get some of that back so the decision would be a little bit easier.
And again, Alex Van Pelt calling the plays today. The head coach, Kevin Stefanski, watching this game from his basement. COVID protocols. Third down and 11. Browns down 6. Less than 5 to play. They dump it off for Dearness Johnson. Made the first man miss. Cuts it back. Down to the 5. It's 4th down. They spot him at the 6. They need the 1. And decision time for the stand-in head coach, Mike Prefer.
I just feel like you have to go for it in this situation off of that good move. Johnson to make a couple guys miss and get you close. Offense hasn't been great all night long. But you can also say to yourself, we kick and get 3 here. Put it on our defense to get us the ball back. We need a short drive, possibly tie this game up.
So here we go. 4th down and 5 for the Browns. Mullins. Nobody open at first. Keeps it alive. Nick Mullins lets it go. Touchdown! Harrison Bryant. There is a flag down.
I think we're going to have defensive holding or defensive pass interference, so I believe this play is going to stand.
Defense.
Harrison Bryant's first touchdown of the season comes from Nick Mullins and ties the game with 3:45 left.
I thought Nick Mullins missed the quick little angle route to Chubb right there, but does a great job of buying time, keeping this play alive and making a play.
Extra point coming here, looking for the lead. McLaughlin puts the Browns in front. And it's Nick Mullins. Days ago, wasn't even somebody people had heard about around here. Trying to lead them to a clutch win in the heat of the playoff race. Nick Mullins, first touchdown as a Brown on 4th down. He finds Harrison Bryant. And with the extra point, the Browns take their first lead of the game, and Derek Carr says, okay. This is what I live for.
This is what it's all about. Want to be in the playoffs. It's games like this that are tight. Ball in the quarterback's hands, and you want to be able to drive down and get your team to win.
Right now, ball in Jalen Richard's hands. Good kick coverage from the Browns. He stopped shy of the 25. Well, the Browns with the win would move into first place in the AFC North. They'd also make it 6 teams at 8-6 in the battle for those 3 wild card spots. Las Vegas, 0 room for error. They've lost 5 of their last 6 games. Still technically alive. Got to have a win tonight. The Browns simply trying to survive tonight without their head coach, without their top 2 quarterbacks, without 18 players total on COVID reserve. They're up 14-13 with 3:40 left. Carr lobs one from Moreau. Foster Moreau tripped up. That's a big-time tackle by Richard LeCount. Only his 2nd one of the year. But Derek Carr, more fourth-quarter comebacks over his first 7 seasons than any quarterback in NFL history through 7 years. Here in his 8th season, trying to add one, trying to keep his team's postseason hopes alive.
And lots of time. Don't have to force the ball down the field. Only need 3 points here. Good job on that pressure look. Just dump it off. Continue to get positive yards.
2nd and 4 in rhythm. Zay Jones has a first down.
It becomes the battle for a defense when you're in a situation like this. You don't want to be too aggressive and allow them to get anything over your head, but you also don't want to make it too easy on them and allow them to have that big of a cushion where it's just easy, quick little throws all the way down the field.
And worth keeping in mind, Raiders have been the best big play team through the air in the NFL, and the Browns are really banged up in the secondary. Under 3 minutes left on 1st and 10. Carr steps up, heaves one deep. Zay Jones, diving try, but it's picked. Greedy Williams, the interception. Browns take over with 2:47.
And it was a good read by Derek Carr. Got the safeties to squat their feet. Let's take the shot up over the top, but Greedy Williams does a nice job staying on top of Zay Jones right here and just playing the football like a wide receiver. See the safeties bite, trying to get the big one just a little bit too far outside. And Greedy Williams able to track it and make a huge play for this defense.
Kevin Stefanski sitting in his basement, had his probably face in his palms for a lot of the first 3 quarters of this game. Started pacing a little more. Might have even been a shout and a fist pump there. Now back to pacing. Hoping the offense can grind it. 2:47 left. 2 timeouts for the Raiders. And Nick Chubb, who has run for 70 yards since halftime, has it in the first play of this drive. It's hit at the line of scrimmage. Max Crosby.
We always talk about championship teams able to get into that 4-minute offense when everyone in the building knows you're going to hand the football off. And can you churn out some first downs and use up this clock?
For the Browns defense, these takeaways have been the biggest reason for their success lately. Their 10th takeaway over the last 4 games.
And coming in, it's what you say. What's the formula? Keep it close, keep it close, keep it close, and then we're going to lean on those guys that have been here on the defensive side to make a couple big plays and set up our offense, and it's exactly the formula they've used here in the second half.
Yeah, great defense, get just enough for the offense. They've got a 1-point lead. Las Vegas down to its final timeout. Remember, they had to use their first timeout before the 3rd quarter clock ran out, just to avoid a delay of game.
1 timeout, still got the 2-minute warning, so stop the clock a couple times here. Just can't allow Cleveland to get a first down.
Back to Nick Chubb. Penetration this time and a short gain again. Although he keeps on going, refuses to go down. Takes Markel Lee for a ride of 5, and it's 3rd and 3. Final timeout used by Las Vegas. This thing was going nowhere.
And it didn't look like much, but those extra 2 3 yards as he keeps churning. Puts you in a situation where now you don't feel like you have to throw the football. You can run the football, try to get this first down, keep that clock going. They love the play action too. They love the quick little throws to their backs, to their tight ends. You just wonder if they're going to go for the win here, or if they're satisfied handing the football off, and if they've got a punt, put it back on their defense's back.
Here's what's left, especially for the Browns headed to take on the Packers on Christmas Day. 3rd down and 3. Mullins ducks under center. The fullback Janovich at a Chubb. Leading the way. Chubb looking for the edge. Gets popped and dropped. Lost a couple of yards. Jonathan Hankins in there with the rookie Diablo.
All right, so Derek Carr, you're feeling pretty good about this now, right? Yeah, I know I just threw an interception. Got to have a short memory as you're going to get the football back here with just under 2 minutes to go. You get another shot at this.
AJ right in there as well, and Derek Carr saying, all right. We'll get one more chance at it. Chubb lost a yard on 3rd and short. The Mercedes EQ postgame show is coming up next. Chris Rose, Willie McGinnis, and James Jones. This has turned into a thriller in the 4th quarter here in Cleveland. What a week we've got, huh? Week 15 continues tonight and tomorrow. You've got Washington and the Eagles, Seahawks and Rams on Fox at 7 tomorrow. Week 16 gets underway with a nice matchup Thursday night, 49ers and Titans, and then a great Christmas Day doubleheader. Browns head up to Lambeau to take on the Packers. Red Hot Colts go out to take on the Cardinals.
Every one of those games has playoff implications. Teams fighting for playoff spots, trying to hold on to playoff spots. Man, it's going to be a fun few weeks here to finish the season.
And here's the picture in the AFC at this point. Everybody and their friends sitting at 8 and 6. Browns hold virtually every tiebreaker when you're looking at the division with Cincinnati and with Baltimore. Derek Carr trying to make a tiebreaker a moot point at this point. Looking for his 28th career game-winning drive. Something that he did against Dallas a few weeks ago.
Well, the Chiefs sitting up on top. Start out 3 and 4. Everybody wondering what's going wrong. They've ripped off 7 straight wins. Get that #1 seed, but man, don't you just feel like so much of that picture we just showed is going to change over the next few weeks? It seems like it does every single week. Upsets all over the place.
Every single day at this point. The way the schedule was this weekend and into this week. Quick to punt it off the side of his foot. Shortest one of the night, but it takes a nice bounce for him. Picked up by Renfro. Good coverage from the Browns. So Carr and the Raiders enter the picture at the 29-yard line with 1:50 to go.
It's amazing. Less than 2 minutes ago, Derek Carr threw that interception. He's going over to the sideline thinking to himself, man, I just lost this game for us. And now you get second life. You get another opportunity to put yourself in the moment. Let's see if he can capitalize.
A minute 15, no timeouts. First play of the drive, he has Jacobs, who couldn't pull it in. Incomplete, 2nd and 10.
We're at this point now where you got to ask yourself, are checkdowns good enough? 1:45 on the clock, no timeouts. Got to continue to move the chains. But be judicious with the football in terms of, do I want to get 2 or 3 yards and spend that much time on the clock? Or is it better to get an incompletion, huddle up, and get the best play call?
Got a good long-range kicker in Daniel Carlson waiting his opportunity. Deep drop, short throw again. Moreau cut down immediately. Denzel Ward. And he stays in bounds. Clock keeps on running. 3rd and 7. 90 seconds left. They bring pressure. It opens up a window for Zay Jones and a first down to the 44.
How about this offensive line all night long? After the game last week, big loss to the Chiefs where they really struggled up front against this good defensive front. They've done a tremendous job protecting Derek Carr all night long.
Under a minute now. Carr has Jacobs angling out of the backfield into Browns territory. 50 seconds and counting. Out of timeouts.
Now you switch that mode in your head. It's like, okay, now it's okay to get completions, to throw it underneath. We got plenty of time. Just working to get into field goal range.
Need about 7 or 8 yards to get to within range for Daniel Carlson. Carr, a strike for Jones into the range at the 30. There is a flag down in the backfield.
Holding. Offense.
Left tackle, Colton Miller.
You see him on this backside right here. Just getting his hands up. Get that left arm up around the throat. Man, looked like the defensive end was going down anyways, but huge call for the home team.
Boy, it's a 27-yard penalty essentially. They would have had it at the 30-yard line in Carlson's range. Instead, back at their own 43. With 29 seconds, Carr looking for some magic. Moreau needs to get out of bounds. Cuts it upfield, gets some extra, and the first down. 22 seconds.
22 seconds, no timeouts. Got to talk to your guys in the huddle. Hey, we can complete this ball inbounds. Everybody's hustling up to the line of scrimmage so we can kill the clock. Just makes you wonder how many plays we've got left here with 22 seconds.
Another 5 to 10 to get into Carlson's range. Pressure coming on first down. Carr on the move. Zay Jones has it. Inbounds. Clock winds. Under 15 seconds. They'll hustle to the line. It's Jones ultimately taking him to the 30-yard line like he had in the play where the penalty was called. And they spike it with 3 seconds. On comes Daniel Carlson with a chance to win it.
Once again, Browns decide to bring pressure. Not a big pressure team, leaving one-on-one situations across the board. Nice lean to get the separation and a good throw out in front. Big play by Derek Carr and Zay Jones.
And now Daniel Carlson, over the last 2 years, is 9 out of 10 from 50 plus. So he's got all kinds of range. This is a 48-yarder for the win. Taken, and he'll have to do it again. Wow.
Well, we saw how the strategy worked out earlier in the game. Let's see if it works in the Browns' favor this time.
Perfectly timed. The stand-in head coach, the longtime special teams coordinator, Mike Prefer.
The gamesmanship, special teams coach against special teams coach. Saw it work one way. Okay, he did that to me in the first half. Let me try that in the second. See if we can get out of here with a win.
About this pressure on Carlson. If he misses, their season essentially is over. This one counts, and the Raiders have won it. Las Vegas is still alive. 16-14 as Carlson hits the game winner.
Hey, you feel like both teams did exactly what they had to do coming in here, giving their team a chance to win. One team just did it a little bit better down the stretch. Give Derek Carr 2 chances. Talked about how good he was in that moment throughout his career. Give him 2 chances. Tough to stop him.
Man, oh man, Daniel Carlson, his 3rd make of the day. He's now 31 out of 34 on the season. Pressure packed, and he said, okay, you're going to make me do it again. I'm going to straighten it out and drill it right down the middle.
Yeah, there's number 4. That's how we do it, keeping our hopes alive after everything that we've been through and delaying the game. Getting off the plane and going back home. Coming in here and getting the win.
Well, the story for the Raiders the last couple of years has been late season fades. They feel like they still have time to change that story for this team. Last year they started 6-3. They lost 5 of their last 7. 2019 they started 6-4. They lost 5 of their last 6. Such a promising start this year. They were 5-2. But then losing 5 of 6 coming into this game, just a little bit of hope left for the playoffs. That hope kept alive and boosted with a 16-14 win. So for Kurt Warner, Melissa Stark, Steve Weish, the rest of our crew, Joe Davis saying so long from Cleveland. We'll get you to Chris, Willie, and James for the Mercedes EQ postgame show after these messages.